Глядачі почаємо тільки рівнятися. Багато. Зараз. Він вийде вас онлайн. Не все. Презентація.
Пане Олекса, дивіться.
Capability of 5 meters, so you can have a drone later and unfortunately.
Я не презентацію зараз.
Advanced planar two-dimensional biocomposite based on photosynthetic organisms.
Кирило, твоя перша презентація? Твоя перша?
And I think the language should be
Okay.
Presentation here.
No problem.
Colleagues, we are starting our section dedicated to the using clustering the improvement of the defense technology, and we have a lot of speeches today. For now, we are inside the so-called small city hall. This hall, in this hall, the executive committee is making the decision about how to the management decisions, and so it's also the historical city hall. We start with so we should finish in 1:15. So we have only, I guess, one hour to perform all our activity. So I asked to make a first presentation by Kirill Гороховський. Kirill Гороховський shows the capabilities of the defense technologies which is united by Ukrainian Cluster Alliance.
Yeah. Well, actually, I'll focus on deep tech technologies as members of Ukrainian Cluster Alliance also deliver standard systems like FPV drones. So I will not make a big accent on this, because it's it will be clear. First of all, I want to state that we started expansion and partnership process. So as in the past, we were limited by clusters members of ОПК. Now we made strategic partnership called оборонні кола, or defense circles, which connect military investors, manufacturers, scientists, and that's all.
Kirill, sorry for interruption. Maybe it will be convenient for you to stand before the desk.
So they will see my back.
So I mean, so the common right now to use this room to have your you can.
No. In the past, we have had resource center of Ukrainian Cluster Alliance. Now we have also dual use cluster represented by Denis Sutakul. That means that if we have a request from our military, which could not be solved by clusters with our current possibilities, so we engage with another tech manufacturers, ask them to join us, join to this cluster. That also comprises, as cluster usually is mostly regional based. If a lot of regions in Ukraine have no clusters, but have some big enough enterprises, so the dual use cluster is nationwide. That's ecosystem of general ecosystem of defense in Ukraine. It seems to me almost everything mentioned. Our resource center dual use technologies designed mil-tech development, not only defense but offense. We find another way to use it and call it dual use, and transfer it to West. We have no intent to transfer it to China or to Iran. So we advise our experience to West and could transfer some innovations developed during bad elections in Ukraine to common use of democratic countries which we consider we are part of. And we provide, we make trends of work. It's idea come to me when I had speech at Warsaw at Quantum Technologies for Defense conference, and they seriously discussed ethic component of development of this. Also, there is a big discussion in the West with major actor Google about ethic AI. We understand that our task here is to make such a framework with military AI scientists and civil ML scientists, so that technology would not be widespread without control. So we control it, but like I have seen today in Ukrainian news, another crazy journalist published that AI self-modified itself and widespread it. So it's impossible. But we take care about our future, so we don't need Europe full of crazy Ukrainian drones killing people which look like Russians. So our aim now is to consolidate internal Miltech investors. As you know, we have very powerful charity funds like Ключовим and Притула Fund and others, who have licenses for import, for buying and importing weapons to Ukraine. So we see some collaboration here. If some product developed together by Ukrainian scientists and Ireland scientists, or German scientists or Polish scientists, so we could make better device and then ship it to Ukraine or produce it in Ukraine under license. So that's the model. We want our priorities, as we are not government, our priorities business which succeeds in to help to our armed forces. But we take care about business component as it's important for most partners abroad. They are not charity foundations. So this pragmatic approach, we are trying to shape discussion about venture capital funding for Miltech products, but it goes hard. But we are on the way, so just a little bit more innovation. So what we would propose to international businesses is, sure.
I am present.
Same.
I will change.
We prepared it together. Actually, this presentation was prepared for.
The points I made up myself.
Okay.
What is it? I they are appreciated and actually taken and approved, so it's fine.
Okay. So we could make localization. Localization means not only Ukrainian language localization, because probably some of you know that at the beginning of war, we started to use Stugna. It's a rocket, anti-tank rocket with Arab interface. They were ready to ship to some Arab country, but they stay here, and our soldiers studied a little bit Arabic language. Nothing special. If you're military, you could know terms. So for localization, we mean that some good samples of Western weapons still are on stock of Командування сил логістики, because it's unusable in real warfare. That's it. Some devices are pretty good. I have seen a drone which could fly in a forest. And it's very good achievement.
What vision? Why? What kind of vision does this drone?
Vision.
When the forest?
Some computer vision. I don't know. Trend now is swarms. It means several drones connected with each other with different channels of communications, thank you, Mike, in the future. We are designing together some protocols free from radio frequency, which we have no radio frequency at better light. So we're looking into optic or acoustic or different signals. And demo box. Oh yeah. So idea is to make swarm of UAVs or swarm of land drones. Member of Cluster Alliance, Timberland already deployed this technology, their prototypes, and going to deploy to frontline. Okay. So some of our yes. I am not missed. It's Lviv National University. Okay, so this is Ruja, devised by Rivne Cluster. Very good. Very good system. We could share details if somebody wants. So thank you for those who put this fire dragon into slide. Last year, one of our close photonics cluster scientists, Igor Shostko, developed a national program for high energy lasers. And it costs hundreds of millions of hryvnias. So he was thanked by several people. And now when there are some news appear in media that some Australian companies, some British companies, some other company demonstrated the US demonstrated high energy lasers, we should understand that it's tens of millions of dollars or euros and tens of years. And it's impossible technically in Ukraine, and because we even, our main pain is this, we have no
Putting the ability to make substrate.
No, lasers. Твердотельный лазер. Solid state laser, yeah. Sorry.
That's the technology transfer.
Yeah, but Miltech here, not photonics. Photonics replace little bit because I'm also in charge of land robotics. Something to do. Okay, so our capabilities in lasers and in optoelectronics still remain in place. We have several good equipped research centers in Kharkiv, in Kiev, and in Lviv, and one hidden in Vinnytsia. Okay. We also have now a community of about 10 to 11 startups and companies developing something based on laser components, and they make now monthly meetups, exchanging experience and pushing Minstrat-Prom for what we need actually to certify laser weapons. It's what Russians made us out of. It's optic range in Kharkiv region. Now we have a plan to rebuild it in some other region far from Russia, rockets and troops. And another thing, what we need, and we shaped the budget, but it's going to donors for financing, but not so successful. It's optic lab, metrology lab for testing actually laser weapons for specifications to confirm exact specifications, because we also have dual-use products developed by Ukrainian scientists who developed endoscopes, waveguides modified with 2D materials, and that makes endoscope looking for 150 degrees, but it also makes periscope to looking 180 degrees. So we continue work with manufacturers of electronic surveillance stations. It's a bunch of them now in Ukraine, like Octava Defense, yeah, who making such equipment, ground equipment mostly. Yeah, but we have several already. Yeah. So what makes us what is our challenge is China, which I know China, I would say good, because, yeah, and I know this Communist Party relationship with local administration and with manufacturers. And if someone has idea to ban exports to Ukraine, it's immediate and it's hard to renew. You need to have a hard diplomacy inside Chinese regions. But so we are looking for ways to diverse this, not so successful because of hard pricing of Taiwan products, US products, etc. But I believe that we will move from general transistor microelectronics to optic chips and to AI chips and to custom chip design. So we have also such initiatives in our country. So let me briefly pitch some high-tech projects of our members. First, Mike is advisor of this company. It's a startup MFly, which born from problems that we got Brimstone 2 rockets from UK without laser designation. Because rocket has a laser designation model, but there is no acceptors were given to Ukraine. So we developed our own, and it's
Brimstone missiles without the acceptor?
yeah.
That's wow, man.
Yeah. So these young guys developed drone-based gimbal with laser designator. We approached to order to contract these laser designators from Lithuania, but price was tough, and they developed its own Ukrainian. Actually, this cost like 1/4 of Lithuanian thing, and with better gimbal, because that's mean why Ukrainians are better in developing something special, because we have a direct connection to our army, and we exchange information, and we could informally call to some battalion and ask guys, could you check my stuff anonymously without bureaucracy. So then we get immediate feedback and could continue R&D with some results. Our big manufacturer of simulation systems, Spільна Tech, yeah. They develop full range of as military, but also civil designation simulators. They are also already in virtual reality. They are partners of General Dynamics Corporation. They developed, started development for infantry, then scaled to artillery, to tanks, and now they develop actually, seems to me, first in the world, Stinger, man-part simulator, because Stinger is one of the hard to exploit devices, comparing like to Javelin. This is our route. It's Tenerland Military Solutions, which developed robots like GNOME, which could be used as mining machine or evacuation machine. It's modular, it's autonomous, and it's swarm. Yeah. So it's not a concept, but it's most of the pictures realized in series, and some are contracted by armed forces of Ukraine. So it's tourists, it's just regular civilians stations, moving stations. It's kamikaze, which could blow actually armored vehicles, non-armored. It's also a platform to carry drones, to deliver it, for example, in autonomous mode to the zone where a drone is accessible. Control means, etc. And delivery to frontline. Yeah. This seems not to be very effective.
It's not.
No. No sense.
It's just examples of different.
Just an example, yeah.
Yeah,
That, just. But this one.
Yeah.
So those drones can be deployed along the road with different mission tasks, and then they are controlled by artificial intelligence tools and so this is the they are deployed with the enemy convoy by the road, and they are sitting on both sides of the road in their mission. Programmed, but they are located autonomously. So now they are working on a communication channel apart from like a real communication, visual communication, optical communication, it could be sound communication, so something which cannot be jammed. And next slide, it's a vision for one of the drones, how it's intelligent drones. And then they share this information in this one, inside this one.
So that's all.
Thank you. Colleagues, maybe do you have any question or proposals? So,
Yeah, I could add something about the M-Fly, because that's price may seem very unacceptable. You know, how are they making an acceptor basically at 200 euros, right? I looked at it. They are doing it. I can't say because I'm bound by NDA. The science works. That's all I can say. They figured out something, and they figure out things in Ukraine because they are resource limited. So they have to be creative and do with what they have. So that's what I can add about M-Fly. That's not BS. That's a really good investment in that company. They got something disruptive.
thank you.
So I have to add about that.
Thank you.
Really,
Any
really
other
well done.
remarks or comments? Thank you, Kirill. Thank you for that. So I'd like to The next presentation will be delivered by Tetiana Voronkova. It is the Rivne Interregional Medical Cluster.
No.
It's okay. He's healed. He's okay.
Colleagues, until Tetiana not yet talking, who will be delivering the presentation? Please head up. Who else will deliver the presentation? Volodymyr and somebody else?
Я бачу. Can I do?
Ольга.
I see. Oh, I'm understanding. They're here. I found them. I understand Korean. I saw them on the street. I figured they were Korean. I used to work for Korean military intelligence back in the 90s. I'm not going to hold any secrets anymore. You guys are going to find out all the stupid stuff I've done. So I know how to work with this guy. I identified protesters and for MI. So.
International armament director, and where also the head of the defense acquisition and logistics organization, so known DALA. It's an organization responsible for procurement, for supply, maintenance, development, and the commission of material produced. Also, they are focusing on establishing both collaboration between industries, because they consider industry as a very important part in this collaboration, very tightly and efficient. Is also very important for developing the whole sector of defense. So they created contact point, single contact point is the DALA, from which all companies applying for assistance or connection or collaboration will be distributed among special responsible units, and they will be taking care of the contacts by official representatives of the unit. So it's simple like that. You contact in one place the DALA organization, and you will be redirected to some relevant people, and we will all collaborate with them on a permanent basis, just knowing with whom you are speaking most time. Here slides from the presentation. The Kim, he is the National Army Director. Maybe I should it doesn't work, seems to. No, it works. Sorry for the quality. I was just sitting from my seat and making this slides. So they introduce the industry fund. It's an industry fund of 2 billion Danish krona, and it's its fund to finance Danish solutions, Danish companies. So Indal is responsible for spending that funds.
and they created new Ukrainian unit at Dalo and trying to establish joint efforts with the industries. How it works? It works the way that that they need demand from Ukrainian Ministry of Defense, and only listed companies in the demand list, yeah, could be financed through this fund. Big problem how to get to the list of this ministry. There is no clear procedure how to test, get certification, and actually get to the last point of getting listed as a need provided by Danish government, covered by Danish government from this fund. So they cannot see the clear communication between Ministry of Defense of Ukraine and Dalo. Danish armament support goes in many ways. So it's financed by Danish stocks. They can buy from other countries to donate, because Danish defense industry is very focused on special areas. And they do not cover, for instance, armored vehicles and some other weapons. So they buy it from different governments upon request from Danish ministry. They also buy from Ukrainian companies, but the funds goes to agency of procurement, and then it's being distributed to Ukrainian companies. They are very interested in establishing a direct collaboration between Ukrainian businesses and Danish companies, because, as Kirill said, Danish companies, though they could be approved for being paid for Ukraine, to be brought to Ukraine, they still need localization partner, because communication should be adjusted, channel of communication, way of communication, some software adjustments done to be prone to jamming, Russian jamming. Explosive parts should be added with some containers, because they provide the drone, and it should still equip it with some explosive parts, so it's being done in Ukraine. Those arms that has been already provided for Ukraine, they need maintenance. They need a local partner to support, to maintain, to just take care of that of those weapons that are already in Ukraine. So, as from a ready-to-use products point of view, for innovation cooperation, they have lots of science, lots of knowledge, lots of kind of concepts, very innovative concepts, which need to be proved in Ukraine. So they need also that kind of collaboration where they can test their innovations to see whether they are really efficient on the front line, or they have to be adjusted. But how they should be adjusted, they need the feedback from the Ukrainian, special, not just soldiers, basically, but that feedback should be should take shape of official documents. So it should be official documents saying what has been tested, what parameters, what is shown, what kind of some flows or whatever, so what should work on, and so the professional feedback. And they also offer their research centers, their test centers for instance, for robotics and drones in Odense. They offer their facilities for testing Ukrainian products. If it's a case, for instance, you invented something, but you don't have that kind of equipment, you don't have that kind of environment, because they create artificial environment for testing some kind of drones and technologies. That kind of collaboration is very important, and Sensec is very much eager to do something about it. I'm still sitting on the same slide. Yeah, it's no, other way. Yes. And Ukrainian participation at Dala conference. So we had apparently 12 Ukrainian companies, over 100 individuals, some Ministry of Strategic Industries, but unfortunately I haven't seen them, all of them, because I was focusing on trying to see how we could collaborate with Danish business-to-business scheme, and how Danish government could support it all. And we have to also find what can be how Ukrainian response to that demand should look like. This is next presentation. It's ahead of Dalo, basically. So how Dalo looks like today, with the funds, with employees, with the military ships with armed vehicles and jets and so on. And how many companies are computers and servers and so on. DALO is focusing on three main processes of the procurement, operation, and decommission in 5 different areas: maritime, land, forces, air forces, cybersecurity, logistics. So it means they do procurement in 5 areas, operations and decommission in those 5 areas. Next one, they admit the problem of being behind of all the developments in defense industry. And they think that change conditions and strategies way ahead of what DALA is doing. And the time for making some changes and reconsidering our methods, strategies, and way of how we collaborate and how we make procurement and so on. And so on. So main trends. So the from war of choice to war by necessity. So necessity should be a driving force of the choice. If it's necessary, really on the front line, then that would be the choice, not other way around. They admit the need to bring their forces on a more high level of preparedness and equipment them with more arms, and so they do procurement for their own arms. They are upgrading their own arms as well. They need for speedy delivery, especially in such a high, fast-paced environment when innovation lives on the front line for a very short time. So we need to speed up delivery and the whole circle of development of new weapons. Bring them to the front line as soon as possible. They want to do some multi-domain operations, means they want to collaborate with different agencies on a different business bodies. So all market players and governmental agents should be brought together into one ecosystem to communicate, collaborate, and deliver a good result to support Ukraine within defense. The main focus should be on unmanned systems because human resource is something we cannot replace. So they prioritize all unmanned systems from drones to even armed vehicles. All these 2 rails, which is unmanned 2 rails, yes. Some drones carrying artillery units or something like that. So as less human should be involved as possible. The Temerland that we were talking about before, they are working now on unmanned armed vehicle equipped by unmanned 2 rails. So it's a completely independent device, say so, weapon, which could be sent to the battlefield and just be navigated through 0.5 from front line. And they also want to do some efficient joint procurement with different agencies, EU and other national procurement agencies. So new conditions demand new methods. And if the country which is not having this war on their land understands it and wants to be more efficient, maybe we should also kind of put some efforts into that direction. So, their priorities in terms of what to buy. So they want to focus on air defense and air forces at first place. Means a variety of short-range defense, shared defense, long endurance drones for different purposes, close air defense missiles, and so on. Next one is a brigade, like a land brigade with armed vehicles. Next one is anti-submarine capabilities, it's all sea drones. And again, enhanced capacity of the air defense. It's anti-drone systems mainly.
Any questions?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I'm curious. See the air defense capacity down there, is that to be spent in Ukraine? No question for the moment.
It's not about spending because it's a new session. So first session was
We're trying to figure out, are they saying that they're going to develop one long-range air defense system, 2 short-range air defense systems that are NATO interoperable for $24.4 billion?
Yeah, they are buying for Danish Air.
It's the bond.
that's already the Spanish agenda. So they They know the trends from our work, they identify the trends, and they want to put their effort in that priority areas. And they structure that areas the way.
Right,
Yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out, because that looks like a big opportunity, you have one long range defense system, two short range. Curious,
But again, it's all about Danish army because they also understand the need to enhance their army.
So that's about.
It's budget for,
Is that for years, that for you?
but not my presentation. It's a Per Olsen who is presenting, so I can't take all the questions to the depth.
It was in the previous slide. The annual.
I'm sorry, I cannot be responsible for this, so I can provide, so it looks like that. Pursue it in the. Так, that again, how DALO can improve their capabilities and their processes. They need to work on their acquisition process, and they want to try new methods, and they want to try new acquisition methods, which will be shown on the next slide. And from industry, they would like to provide it with more flexibility, with more scalability, the capacity, and time for new methods. Again, we have to elaborate some new methods how we can work together, procurement and industry. It's quite simple. The stages of procurement process. So we identify the need, we do market research, we find the best solution on the market fitting into our needs, and then we do choose procurement method because there could be some procurement method, and then we sign the contract. They establish new development division. And that division is responsible in actual business-to-business cooperation, international material cooperation, and cooperation with the defense industry and technological development. What I have told before, such as innovations and business-to-business, they would like to support it all through development division. It's a very new division. There is no defined process how to cooperate, but they would like to start a dialogue how we can really build very efficient communication channels to help each other and establish really effective processes. So those new methods they talked about on the previous slides, it could be just tender, just normal tender. It could be procurement through other states if they think Ukraine needs something, but they do not produce it, so they could go to government to government and buy from another state. They could do procurement through agreements, spirit agreements with something they do not want to conduct a tender. That could be procurement through different organizations. That could be direct allocation and wartime procedures. I don't know what it exactly means, but the procedure is in place, so we can Google it at least to see. And then this is what I have presented at that conference. I will skip some slides and just will point out few things. I invite you to discuss and look at the short target agenda because there's something it's my initiative to put it on. So just discuss and see whether it fits or we can add some new points. Just one notion, it was focusing on business-to-business cooperation. So I was trying to address business community and procurement system of them. And here is also quite very narrow offer for Danish businesses or for international businesses. And I think we should add some points what we can offer else. Maybe also think about some points for internal businesses.
We are very limited in the time of this, so thank you. Thanks. So, any questions, suggestions? Mark? No, thank you. Dana, please.
Also, I am Oлекса Возняк. I am representing. I'm the president of Regional Medical Center. It connects for 15. Interregional medical cluster that connected 15 hospitals, centers, medical centers, rehabilitation, business universities of area in Ukraine, and relevant was all main goal to develop our medicine, our hospitals, and to bring new innovations for our medicine. We are the members of precisely Europe, the consortium of 12 countries of Europe that make innovation value of medicine, and we are proud to make a part of this consortium last month, and to start to work in the next 5 years with a budget of 23 million euros to provide this innovation. And you have in mind what is the connection of medicine and fact. And it is very simple because the one of the our main stakeholder of regional medical cluster is an NGO, Відновлення. It's a NGO for 10 years history that started to provide the training of tactical combat casualty care in 2014. And we are the member of the Association of First-Year Tactical Medical Operations Instructors of Ukraine, members of Ukrainian Resuscitation Council, which represented the European Council of Resuscitation, and member of the working group of medical forces commander that bring together all documents to provide you strategy and due documents according to the standard of NATO. Our experience of 10 years training of our soldiers is maybe 85% of soldiers, different commanders from different forces. You can see here, and we provide the training of civilians, of members of critical structures, of workers, of teachers. We create program for our teachers that teach in our children's at school for 5-6 years from 2070. All children in school read the training of tactical combat casualty care because we know that the war will be more time together. And courses and our instructors, we have different lines of our courses according to the standard of NATO, tactical combat casualty care, also service members, as well as combat lifesaver courses and combat medic. We provide and we have collaborated with another training center, maybe 10 center in Ukraine that bring together and certificated by Military Medicine Academy, Ministry of Defense, with certificate of NAYAN, European Council. We took part in the courses of British, American, and Dutch instructors. That's why we can provide many courses to our soldiers. Provided right now. Training example, if you can I play the video? Maybe or it's some one minute of video that we training our forces. We have some simulations when to prepare our soldiers, our peoples to save their lives in real life. The main challenges that we have in the training of our forces. The main challenges is a number of new recruits of the Army in increasable since February 2022. That's why our Army have no resources to train in all with good equipment and with knowledge and good knowledge instructors. Some courses are not available in Ukraine, such as ASET course is a good equipment course for surgicals that provided by training in the peaks, in the realistic to have some training that they have some skills of surgeons that they provide for real stab wounds or hospitals. And for 10 years, we haven't any of this course. And our government provides 2 surgeons to the training center of Berlin or Warsaw or Canadian. They have this training centers of ASET and providing only numbers of the surgeon, but we need it at hundreds because it's a safe life of our soldiers in the first line of hospitals. The regulatory framework to providing pre-medical care in the battlefield and standards of NATO. We need to more collaboration with the medical center, training center of NATO standards in Europe. We have a lot of knowledge of real battlefield that can change the standard of NATO. In the tactical combat casualty care because we have realistic picture how it works, not only the paper. That's why it is very good cooperation between our training center. That's why we need to activity cooperate with NATO training center for training, exchange the experience, and join changes as assistance and protocols. Introduce training courses for combat medics for 2 or 3 weeks before recruitment into the defense forces. It is our main topic for our training now because really we haven't more time to prepare the combat medic for several months. We need to prepare, and we have this program to prepare this combat medic for 2 or 3 weeks, and they can work in the what is solutions and offers for cooperation for our partners is establishing cooperation with NATO Tactical Medicine Training Center and certificate instructors, establishing regional tactical medicine center of tactical combat casualty care. In the future, on the basis of public-private partnership, we know we have training many instructors from USA, from British, and they say that there is a structure of a training center in the Europe, it's all over the world. They have private companies that train in the army. We have this picture in the Netherlands. We know about this training organization all over the world, and we want to cooperate with them to bring this common development. Create the ASET training in Ukraine center. It's very needful for our soldiers, for health, for life of our soldiers, because we need 100 training surgeons for helping our soldiers injury, and that's why we need to create. We want, and we have some project to realistic in Ukraine, and deployed of veterans in this center. It is one of the way to reintegrate the civilian life. In our team work 2 veterans of CSO, and they have a big experience how they save lives. They're not medics, but we teach them in the start of the war, and now they are members of our group that teaching another soldiers, and it is great helpful for them because they were injuring, and they need to bring their forces for victory. And it is a medical topic in our forces of this conference, but we have another line. It is the regional tech community. We start to get together SMEs that bring some equipment to our soldiers, because we help them for our soldiers for 10 years. We have many relations with different commanders and different brigades, and we know what they need. And we collaboration SMEs of the production of drones, electronic warfare, and other in the region. The main goals is combine crowdfunding and production, because now production is not have more goals. But the main goal is funding for this for more production, and it is our goal to combine this crowdfunding and production to have more equipment for our soldiers. Within the framework of the UPA, we are establishing links with other suppliers of manufacturing plants and creating and training center with the pilots and engineers. It is very interesting topics, because we know that not only equipment is very needful, but it is very needful the skills of the soldiers, of another of these men that will be recruiting in army and start great soldiers of economy. That's why you hear some our Julia, and now we prepare Vadim is Drost. If you hear this PV, it's very useful equipment for all our teachers. It is my contacts. You can contact me in LinkedIn or mail or phone. We are open to cooperation. We have the common goals to have a victory in this war. And that's why we need to cooperate. We need to cooperate in our country, and we need to cooperate all over the world. And we have more to say for all world. We have experience of real war. And that's why it's very, very needful for all over the world and our European countries to know what's a realistic war and what is war in this. That's why we are very pleased to take part in this conference and have some collaboration, and in now and in the future. Thank you.
Thank you.
We can understand what you do. People need numbers.
Number?
Yeah. What
Training.
do you know? How would you expect? Maybe all.
We train all near 30,000 soldiers for this 10 years. 30,000. We have 10 instructors. We started in 2014 and training first time 9 months every day. 9 months every day. We training in the polygon in the back.
You can train. You say.
I know the soldiers because they write for us that we have injury 3 or 5, and we do what you told us, and they're like, it's very motivate us to connect to continue the mind have some experience for training themselves.
Oh, that's great, absolutely. It couldn't write it. Felt like I forgot I was training when I was completely forgot. Unfortunately, I have PTSD related, but hey, it's okay. Can you elaborate more on your cooperation with Netherlands, specifically Lennart Gongas? This might be interesting because that's a real world example of crossing the bridge and joining together.
Yes, we connect with Lennart. Thank you, Mike. They bring some equipment to Ukraine, and we're training together police and other military forces, and now I know he will planning to arrive to Ukraine in the 8 or 9 since this month, and will training another
But we're not sharing that because of what he's learned here in Ukraine, he's taking those lessons for the TPT training and
Yes,
college.
but-
I mean, what he's learned here, I know he's
Yeah.
in college right now.
Yes, it is a realistic information of real battlefield that can help European or another training center to change the protocol, and with Ukrainian instructors that have member of the working group of the NATO, the standard of tactical combat casual care changing last year because we have a long evacuation, and the tactical combat casual care of the line of all service members, they haven't any action about the tourniquet after only put and rise the time. It's enough. But in Ukraine, we have long evacuation. We haven't any possibility to air forces to bring this during the hospital, and that's why we have the block and in the standard of NATO. And if your evacuation is long more 2 hours, you must put the chain, the tourniquet, and have another. That's why Ukrainian instructors changed the protocol now. For all NATO, for Ukrainian, for forces of Ukrainian, and this is very sensitive topic, because I know many soldiers that stay live with our instructors, and they return to the army in the protests. They return to the army to bring their forces to all. Thank you.
There is a question about
It's very short question.
about
Michael, I will understand.
in Privat.
I cannot say such.
He asking if it could be installed into mobile platform, like
I don't know.
unmanned ground vehicle.
I'm not teacher, I'm a doctor. I'm a medicine, but not teacher.
But we can connect.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that answer. Now, I want to make a final presentation about Volodymyr Chernyuk. Volodymyr Chernyuk is the CEO of the Lviv's Tech cluster. So, Volodymyr, I ask you to make a presentation in 10 minutes. That's all.
Can you make me a little last? Yeah, we've already met a lot of new opportunity, new faces here. It is very important for us in Lviv to grow this community. One second to show our presentation. Yeah, 1 minute before I load my presentation, but to start with short, our Iron Lviv Tech cluster working with the hardware domain, but not only military tech.
Agri-food and parcel delivery. One way.
Yeah, we are working with the all hardware products, but like, for example, vacuum cleaners for homes also suitable for our cluster, but mostly for the last 2 years, all of us understand, and this is the reason why we came here today to, I don't see breakout rooms. Oh. Most of our cluster members is military tech companies, so I'll show you only our product, our part of the cluster which are working with the military tech. It will be, I think, more useful for our conversation today. And seeing, right. Yeah, let's start from here. Sorry for such a delay. Lviv Tech cluster, we are working for 1.5 years for now, and we have more than 60 different companies in our cluster. Yeah, more than 65 companies in our cluster who are working in different hardware domains. But mostly our goal is to make Lviv this like a big technological city here in the western part of Ukraine and in the eastern part of Europe, because with a full-scale war, we really have this situation where a lot of companies relocated here from Kharkiv, Dnipro, Zaporizhzhia, etc. And a lot of our Lviv big software companies started doing their spin-offs in military tech, in defense tech. So they came together and discussed the possibility to create such a cluster. So we have both two, like main two roles of our cluster. First of all is, of course, as usual, as all you understand the cluster, we unite companies dealing with the common problems, dealing with the government relations stuff, have a lot of work with the Lviv city administration. We have developed 5 voucher support programs for military tech companies. We have developed a program of support of technological industry here in Lviv, in Lviv region. And we are also working with the ministries, Ministry of Strategic Industries, Ministry of Digital Transformation, Ministry of Defense, and of course, PREI-1, who are also helping a lot military tech startups in Ukraine. I ask you to scan this QR code. It's important for you to understand what we are working mostly with. This is a catalog of, oh my, this is a catalog of products of our companies for members of cluster, not all of them, but those who want to join the catalog. So basically what are there, it's UAVs, different types and different purposes, bombing UAVs, reconnaissance, copters, planes, etc., ground vehicles, unmanned and manned electronics. And it's like to very understand the topic of localization that Kirill mentioned. It's very important for us also, and we have a project where we trying to find and to connect companies who are working on developing electronics and also components for the military tech products, so not to make only final product, but to have this value chain here in Lviv. So we also have in the catalog flight controllers, different modules for drones, etc. Electromotors we have in our cluster, the company who are developing it. Yeah, so a lot of stuff, more than 60 companies, we're working with them, but what we are doing with them, it's investments, engagement, government relations that I've mentioned before. Also a big part of our work in Iron Military is cooperation with military units. So we have big military academy here in Lviv, with whom we are working like very directly they provide us with the testing facilities for explosives, etc., that we cannot provide ourselves. But talking about our facilities, we have our flight range for UAVs. We have facilities of other companies which they can share. Yeah, so different equipment for testing in laboratory, like test your product in lab before you test it on the field, and after that you test it on the front line. So all three steps of this testing process we can cover in our cluster. We also concluding a lot of events, both public and closed events only for members of our cluster, who which are mostly on the military topics, with a lot of representatives from different military units, where companies can show them their products on a testing field with all the obstacles for ground vehicles, with all the flying drones, with the target that they are hitting, etc. It's always very fun and always also very important. Also, in case of our cooperation with the Brave One, we are helping here recently. He helps a lot companies of our cluster with the process of certification, with the procurement policies, etc. He's a lawyer, and a lot of our work really, we concentrate it to drive our members from a startup to big company who have government contracts in case of military debt. Yeah, that's nearly all. This is also my presentation that I've presented in Copenhagen, and we have talked a lot with the international partners. We have a lot of partners from different countries, and really a big amount of them are from Denmark. So Mike, you need to keep up with the Danish people, and also bring your German partners to Ukrainian military tech sector. And yeah.
Do you have a good interface for us in Denmark?
What?
Do you have a good interface for us in Denmark?
In Denmark, yeah, we have a few venture capitals there, a few private companies with whom we are working directly for partners of our companies. Yeah, and this slide is very important because everyone in the world talking about Ukraine and our military tech sector in case of safety. It's the most important topic. So yeah, that's the basic level of knowledge that we all have when we started to talk about something more focused, more particular. And in case of military tech, it's also a very good opportunity for Ukrainian economy to grow. And it's I want to emphasize not only on the moral part of this topic, but also on a business part, because we have huge market here, and we need to fill this market with the Ukrainian products, not with the foreign products. It's important for our economy, for our business. We need to keep money here in Ukraine, not to drive them to China, etc. And we need to go onto global market. Yeah, we are working also with the other business association, such as Tech Forces in Ukraine, to make possible the export of these goods to other countries, to partner countries of Ukraine, because it can drive money to Ukraine and help us to develop our businesses even more and more. So the cooperation opportunities, it's most stuff that I've mentioned earlier. Supply chain integration. So if any of you, I know that you have some components for the drones or final products, and we are very open to integrate it into a supply chain. It's very important. Collaborative testing, we can provide help with the facilities here in Lviv, near Lviv, and also in the front line, and common research, direct investments. It's more convenient ways to cooperate in this tech sphere. So I think that's all. You can contact us. It's here's my email, and my partner also, who was with me in Denmark, but he's not here. He have different events today. So yeah, thanks. Yeah.
Maybe you have CRBA antennas.
Antennas, yeah.
Like the method. CRBA antenna.
Yeah, we have for you electronic warfare systems or for for drones.
To avoid GPS jamming.
We have few, I think
For
3
UAVs,
companies who are working with the
long-
antennas. I can contact you with the companies directly because like they
Great.
have a lot of stuff, and yeah, we have one company who are working with the electronic warfare and with the antennas. So sign link, like the ones who in drones and in UAVs in Ukraine, you know, probably a lot of drones from different parts of Ukraine flying with the radio connection from this company. So they have a lot of different developments in this area. I think they have definitely.
Thank you. Any other questions, remarks, suggestions? Thank you. We are finishing, the agenda of our section. So to summarize, we see that the cluster mechanism can significantly improve the collaboration in the field of the defense tech, new tech, and other dedicated areas. So thank you all. Thank you for taking part in our section. We are going to join home.